be seated. I am believing I have your consent to do away with the mask for a few moments. Trinity. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. In my line of work, I give more speeches than I preach. So I'm used to ladies and gentlemen. Not that you're not ladies and gentlemen, but in church, we rather use the phrase brothers and sisters, brethren. And I hear there's a new word now, sistren, that is on. So, brothers and sisters. I'll just give you a little background to how I came here today. I should have been here talking on this very theme some 3-4 months ago. But I kept dodging. Osofu would say, so Brother Koka, when are you ready for us, brother? And genuinely, I had very good excuse because my work makes me travel quite a bit. So whenever he tries to schedule me, I have a trip to make and I have a good excuse. And I say, good. I kept dodging. And then one fine day, God just pulled my ear. And he said to me, William, you remember Jonah? I said, hey, God, wait, come, let's talk. You see, it's not the 3 days in the belly's whale, the whale of the belly of the whale that I was scared of. No. But I tried to imagine, what did Jonah tell his wife after 3 days of absence at home? When he got back home, what did he say? Where was he? I mean, which woman would believe that you were in the belly of a fish for 3 days? And you know, the wife would have known that, hey, the boat has reached destination. And in these days of tracking, Jonah hasn't called. 3 days. What explanation do you give? So I said, no, wait, let's do this thing and move on. Okay? Brothers and sisters, over last year and this continuing this year, Osofu, minister in charge and council and the assistants have been leading us to think about building our broken walls in the church. And of course, we all know that Osofu gave us some pretty good exposés on the story and experience of Nehemiah and Ezra. And in the last, I think, 2 or 3 months, we have been looking at building our broken walls in various aspects of church life. Today, we're going to look at building our broken walls by loving our neighbors in the church. That is the sub-theme for today. Loving our neighbors in the church. As soon as you see that, for me, out of that phrase or that sentence jumps 3 key words. 1, the matter of love. 2, the matter of neighbors and neighborhood and neighborliness. And 3, the matter of the church. 3 key words: love, neighbor, and church. And I want us to just keep our minds for the next few moments, not very long, on these 3 words. We will look at them individually, and then after that, we try to put them together and see how they affect our church life. Love. What is love? How do we show love? I'm sure it's not for me to tell you what is love. Indeed, I dare say each and every one of us here have our own experience of what love is, or the lack of love. We have our own interpretation of what love is or should be. I will leave that to you and the Holy Spirit to work on. But I'd like to ask us, how do we show love? How do we express love? Yes, we all know the three kinds of love: brother-sister love, the agape love, and of course the sexual amorous love. They are all there. We all have our different interpretations for that. But when I was preparing and looking up this word, after all my search, I came back to the origins of us as Christians, and that is the Bible. And I'm not sure, as Christians, we can find a better explanation or interpretation than what God himself taught us through Paul's letter to the Corinthians. I read 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. It says, love is patient. Love is kind. It is not envious. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. In short, love never fails. Love never fails. Irrespective of the situation you find yourself, if there's true love, it never fails. It always lives up, even to its own detriment. It always lives up. We tend to use this passage more at weddings, and rightly so. Rightly so. But then, I want to believe, in fact, I have this idea that at a wedding ceremony, the bride and groom, after they have been pronounced man and wife, I'm not sure they care to listen to what the pastor is saying. Believe me, they want to go home and get on with their lives. They're just there for the ceremony. So this passage of love is more for everyday living rather than wedding ceremonies for me. Yes, remind them at the service. But it is for us to live our lives by it every day. Friends who gossip about us are not showing us love. People who look down on others are not showing love. At least not according to the passage I just read. When we give love, whatever our interpretation of love is, do we do so genuinely in a Christ-like manner? Or do we do so like the Pharisees do? And you know how the Pharisees do their thing. We see it in the Bible. Countless examples. What do? They give you something, they do something for you, and the next moment, it's on social media. now that we have social media. In the days of the Pharisees, they didn't have social media, but they would sound a drummer or some herald to go in front of them when they're doing things. For us now, it's social media. Is that the way we show love? I hope not. In the practice of love, we like to be spoken to nicely. Yes, that is love. We like to be related to warmly. That is love. To be cared for, to be smiled at. We want people to call on us and check on us. How you doing? I didn't see you in church today. I hope all is well. How's work? We like to receive gifts. I do. I know. It's one of the... So please, give me some gifts, huh? At least you can show me love that way. We like to be complimented. We like people to visit us, and we visit each other. Even though rather unfortunately, it's a bit of a challenge these days with COVID-19. We are all told to stay away, be physically distant, etc., etc. We like to be helped when we're in need. And of course, we like to be prayed for and prayed with. These are all expressions of love that we want to see, we like to see, we want to enjoy. That is how we show love. Jesus gave us a very good example in one short sentence in Matthew 7:12. And we all know that phrase, that verse. Do unto others as you want them to do to you. The assumption is that you love yourself. You will not hurt yourself. And as such, you don't want anybody to hurt you. So because of that, you want to be loved. But Jesus is telling us, let us first give love, and love will return to us. Let us give love, and love will return to us. If we order our lives by this principle of doing unto others as we want them to do to us, there's no way we will gossip about people. There's no way we will shun people. There's no way we will ignore people or shame people. We will not speak unkindly. We will not stab people in the back. We will not ignore people, irrespective of who they are. We will not think of ourselves more highly than others. We will love one another, irrespective of whether we know the person or not. And it is so much more so important to show love when you have to deal with strangers in the church. We will deal with that later. We certainly don't want to be at the end of receiving negative responses from people, negative relationship, negative vibes, as the young people would say. You want positive vibes coming towards you, not negative ones. Love is positive. I am yet to see, with these days they can coin and bring up anything, but I'm yet to see negative love. If anybody knows about that, please educate me. Negative love? No, I cannot fathom it. Love is always positive, it's progressive, it's value adding. That is love. Love seeps from the heart. It is expressed from the heart. That is what love is. And love is not loud. Like the Corinthians, the letter of the Corinthians says, love is not boastful. It's not boastful. When you boast, you are loud. I'll give you an illustration. Two people who are in love, they could be miles apart, but they are communicating very effectively. Very effectively. Young people, you know when you are boyfriending and girlfriending, you know what I'm talking about, huh? But let's look at the other end of the spectrum. Two people who are quarreling, who are enemies, they could be close to each other, but what are they doing? They're shouting. They are, oh goodness, just hurling insults at each other. It's not like if you speak, I am 2 meters away from you, I wouldn't hear you. I will hear you. But because there is hate, because there is no love, they are shouting, making noise. That is not love. Love is quiet. It does its thing quietly. No noise. As the Bible says, the right hand does something, the left hand doesn't know about it. It's as simple as that. Jesus is our best example of love. Very best. And he showed us how to love. How did he do that? He left the glory and splendor of heaven to come down here. For what? To die so that I can live. To die so that you can live. To die so that I can have a good life. So that you can have a good life and praise God Almighty. So tell me, who am I not to love or not to show love to somebody else? Who am I? If God, who created me, can express and show love, who am I not to? Let's look at the second word that pops out of our statement, neighbor. Various preachers who are dealing with this theme have elucidated on the word neighbor in the last few months. And of course, we have a very nice illustration in the Bible in the story of the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan showed what? Love. To whom? A complete stranger. Somebody he couldn't even identify. Neighborliness. In my opinion, a neighbor to you is somebody, listen, that can influence your life. Not the other way around. Somebody that can influence your life, somebody that comes within your radar is your neighbor. You know, sometimes you can say, oh, I don't influence his life, so he's not my neighbor. You can choose those whose life you can influence. And you can have your circle of neighbors. But rather, neighborliness is those that influence you. That person you see in church straight away has influenced you because his image has entered your psyche. So he's your neighbor. That person at work is your neighbor. That person you don't even see is your neighbor. In today's world of high tech, I dare say everyone in the world is our neighbor. They can reach us, we can reach them. How we behave to them and how they behave to us matters. Do we show, do we exude, do we express love? If I might add, positive love? They are influencing us. We are influencing them. They are our neighbors. Right now, we have members of this church who are not here physically in the building. But they're part of us. Why? Because technology has allowed us to be able to influence them wherever they are. In their homes, when they travel. And for that reason, I am one who benefits a lot. Because I travel quite a bit. And when I'm not here, I still join in the service. Because sometimes when you travel, you don't have time to go look for a church to worship. And besides, when you travel, you better be careful which church you worship in. Because there are so many. So you better be careful. So I don't just walk into any church. So I'd rather be safe with TUC on air. And for that, I'd like us to give a holy clap offering, a thank offering for the technical team. Let's do it well for them. Let's do it well for them. They are showing love to all of us in the way they use their skills. I'm used to being, at least having time with God, especially on Sundays. So when I don't get a connection, as it were, it's a bit of a challenge. It's a bit of a trial. So technical team. God bless you guys. Okay? Neighborliness and our neighbors is not just limited to people in our circle of friends. Like we have just said, technology has made everyone our neighbor. Our behavior has influence over everybody. Church. Now, this is a set of people who have come together, who have one common aim. They want to commune. They want to share fellowship. They want to worship a common deity. And thank God for us in TUC and we as Christians, that deity is Jehovah, God Almighty, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We have a creed that binds us. Every Sunday we recite, hopefully in a very solemn manner, the Apostles' Creed or the Nicene Creed. We assemble together because we have a common mindset. We come to commune with each other. We come to encourage each other. We come to share with each other. We share physical gifts. We bring spiritual upliftment to each other. Natural and emotional guidance we give to each other. Mentorship. I was a bit, I don't know whether I challenged, if that's the word I should use, about 3 months ago, when a young man in this church, a student, came up to me and said, Mr. Coker. I said, yes, hey, how are you You okay? You know, usual pleasantries. He said to me, I want you to be my mentor. I said, whoa. What do you know about me that you want me to mentor you? He says, well, I've been watching the way you have been going around. I said, oh, really? And then it dawned on me. Hey, Willie, don't think you're not being watched. In the church, people relate to you after assessing you. So in any other part of society. So how we behave towards others is being watched. How we show love is being watched, or otherwise. When we meet as a church, as people of God, we do so as disciples, as followers of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who died to save us all. Church, i.e. the people, is a place where people of various states of well-being come together, seeking for various types of remedies. Very diverse, very diverse. Some come for company, some come just to talk, some come for advice and guidance, some come for financial help, some come for encouragement, search of some sort of security. Some people run away from the world to come into the church to have that 2-hour reprieve of peace, from the world and the tumult of the world. Some people do that. Some people come for prayer support. Some people come for a hearty sing-along. I know I love that. I love the good man when he plays the organ. I enjoy it. I really do. I mean, the guy just lifts my soul up, man. No, seriously, he does. So I look forward to coming to church for, among other things, good music. I love it. Some come to seek for partners in marriage, to marry. I have been told that the church is probably the best place to look for a marriage partner. Young people, is that true? Huh? And some people just come to church to search for God. They just come to church to see God, to meet God. And God is not going to come down in the physical. God is going to come down through you, through you, through you, and through me. So they will see God through us. They will see God through us. So we should make sure we show them so much love that they see God through us. This building we see here, as we all know, is not the church. We all know that. We've all gone to Sunday school, or we have been confirmed and that kind of thing. It only acts as a focal convergence point for people from all over the vicinity to come so that we can worship together. The building also serves as a protection. I mean, you can imagine if it was raining now, or if there was a windstorm blowing. And for those of us in colder climates, if it is snowing, you think the people would meet? No. So this building serves just for that. It's not the church. It's the edifice in which we worship. We are the church. We make the body of Christ. Now let us try and bring the three key words that we have just expatiated together. And the crucial question I want us to answer as TUC, a group, corporate, as individual persons and members of this church, is, in TUC, are we building our broken walls by showing love to our neighbors in the church? Are we doing that? Are we genuinely and truthfully doing that? Humans are created to be communal beings. That was very, very much amplified during the COVID-19 era. We were told to stay at home. We were locked down. And you know, many times, when I speak to friends and, you know, those who really have a genuine spirit, they say, hey, I'm really sorry for prisoners. I'm really sorry for prisoners. They say, look at me. I'm here in my house. I can go out in the compound. I can go from one room to the other. I can watch television. I can relax and sleep and wake at any time. Nobody's telling me anything except stay in my compound. What of prisoners who don't enjoy all those? COVID has taught us that we are human beings and we need to come together as people. And that coming together, that community spirit, is cemented by love, not hypocritical actions. Love is definitely not hate. In fact, it's the direct opposite of hate. Love is the direct opposite of hate. At TUC, how do we relate and react to each other as members? How do we relate to guests and strangers that come through our doors to worship with us, first-timers? Do we shun them? Do we show them kindness? Do we talk to them? For those that we know, do we assess them by their educational prowess? The way they dress? The hairstyle they have on? Is that what determines how we relate to people? Their ability, their physical outlook? Their height? Is that how we do it? In Romans 12, verse 3, God through Paul admonishes us and says, "For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought." In short, be humble. Meet that person, speak to that person, open up to that person. You really don't know what that person came here to look for, what that person is burning with or dying with inside. You don't know. Young people, do you keep to yourselves and your circle of friends in the church? And when new young people come in, hello, boom, you're gone. I'll tell you some stories, not now, towards the end of my speaking, of my personal experiences in this church. And let God help us all show Christ at TUC. Let me tell you something. You know, for those of you who know me, you know I'm into insurance. Insurance is my career. I've been in insurance 40 years. And the insurance company shows that it is a good insurance company by doing one thing, and that is paying genuine claims on time. That is the hallmark of a good insurance company. It's not necessarily their balance sheet. It's not necessarily the managing director having a string of letters behind his name or her name. No. If you don't pay that claim that is genuine as quickly as is practical and possible, you are not a good insurance company. You will not have the clientele you seek. You will not. The same is true of the church. The same is true of the church. And John 13:34-35, in that verse, Christ teaches us what is the hallmark of the church. What is that thing that once you see in the church, you know, yes, this is a church after God's own heart? It says, a new command I give to you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. And this is the hallmark. It says, by this everyone will know that you are my disciples. Like the insurance company pays claims, the church has to show and exhibit and practice love, especially within itself. Especially within itself. The Bible also teaches us through Paul, one of Paul's letters, that says, show love to all, especially those that are of the household of faith. Who are those that are the household of faith? Household of faith. Anyone that walks through these doors is a member of the household of faith, the Christian faith. Let us show love to them. I'm going to give you certain stories as I end that happened probably several years ago. And then I'll ask us a question at the end of everything. When people meet me outside, they know I'm not a Ghanaian. And you know, Ghanaians, we love church business. So among the conversation, like the British would say, oh, how's the weather? That's what they talk about in Britain, the weather. In Ghana, we talk about church. They would say, oh, what church do you attend? And I tell them, I attend Trinity United Church. And do you know what their reaction is? They scoff. I wonder what their experience was for them to say that. Story number 2, experience number 2. I'm sorry, these are sad stories, but they are truths that must be told. Because sometimes, unless we are jolted, we don't make amends. We are creatures of habit. So we were sitting at the same place. In fact, then we started over there in the children's block, that where the children's church meets over there. Then we moved. So, because they saw, we've been here coming several months. All this time, believe it or not, me in my suit and everything, nobody spoke to us. But fortunately for us, as by not easily moved by people's whims and fancies. We came, we knew what we were seeking for, we were getting it. We were worshiping, we will go away. And the minister, that's why I said sorry before I said it. One of the ministers stood right here. For lack of a better word, oh, this church, it doesn't matter how long you've been coming here. If you don't come and register as a member, when there's time to give you a church service, sacraments or anything, we will not be able to do that. You must come. And meanwhile, nobody has come to talk to me to say, hey, bro, how are you? Welcome. What's your name? How are you doing? What brings you to our church? At the time, the welcome committee was defunct. It was defunct. I didn't even know there was a welcome committee. Christians, we were actually testing the spirit of the church as we were commanded to do in the Bible. Because the Bible says, don't believe everything and everybody. Test the spirits so that you know what you do. That is why, like I said earlier, I don't just go into any church when I travel. Because I don't have the time to test the spirit, to know what. Story number 3. As part of those goings and comings, one Sunday, after church, we were driving and going. Well, we're not driving, we're going towards our car, because then at the time the cars were parked just here. As we were getting to the car, my wife and I, we heard some voices. Oh, Mr. Coker, Mr. Coker. I was stunned. I turned around and I said, oh, so you know my name? And then one of the members, it apparently turned out to be the harvest committee. One of the members said, you see, where's the welcome committee? This man has been coming here. Nobody has spoken to him. They wanted to ask me to become chairman of the harvest that year. This is somebody you've never welcomed in your church. You've never spoken to. But we thank God it ended well. Story number 4, which is a sequel to what I just told you. The church and church council decided to punish us for asking them whether we know their name, whether they know our names. They reconstituted the welcome committee. And you know what the punishment was? They made my... But we thank God today. But for me, the question is several years down the line, TUC, are we having those experiences still? Are there people among us who are having those experiences? If there are, please, we are not showing love to our neighbors in the church. Let us leave if it is true. Now look, if some of these things or these experiences are not true, but just rumors and gossip, and we find that these things are true to some extent, let us ask God to help us. Of the household of faith. As individuals, as corporate people, book long, let us put it aside. You remember, angels have visited people before and have blessed them in the guise of non-entities. Let us not miss our chance to be blessed. Let us search ourselves and love one another in TUC. God bless you all.